gonna do a testing. I'm still so new at this, it's hard to tell when I'm actually online. So I'm still having trouble getting it over to Twitch. Error 1000. I bet it's my bit rate is too high. Or is my cache all screwed up? Just clear everything. Clear everything from Twitch. And boom, I'm online. How fun. That's pretty cool. All right. Now let's just make sure the audio is working. Perfect. And I'm on Twitch now. How nice. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I don't know if people are here from Twitch or here from YouTube. I'm just getting things going, but I just wanted to do a little babbling about Scream 7 now that more people have hopefully seen it. So let me get this out into the YouTube. Or I'm going to put this on, put the notification on Twitter because we got some people last time through the Twitter and don't know why. There we go. Multi-stream. Welcome. So who's seen the movie? Have people seen the movie yet? I posted a review about an hour ago. It's hard to do the review when you don't have the movie right in front of you. Like I've been doing when I did my other Scream reviews, you can just pause and rewind and stuff. Makes it a lot different when you have to go off memory and then read Wikipedias and stuff. Cool. Got the post out. So now we will see if anyone joins. Rock and roll. Anyway, whoever's here, thank you for joining. Please be sure to hit the like button and comment in the chat. And basically, I just want to kind of just start talking about what the hell we saw yesterday and where this franchise might go now, because it's one of those times that I feel like they've kind of worked themselves not into a corner, but I don't really know where they go from here, if I could be honest. So let's see what we see. Otherwise, no way. I actually have people on Twitch watching. That's crazy. I've never actually had anyone on Twitch before, so that's pretty badass. So thank you, whoever you are. Gift one sub to take first. I don't want to gift my own subs. I don't even know if I have subs to give on Twitch. Oh yeah, I wanted to mess with my stream here. Good timing. I could add the chat box. I wanted to do that. Source. Chat box. Okay, add source. Chat box is, where is it? Okay, it's going to be up there. Test. See what pops up. Popped up on bingo. Okay. Problem is it's just... Okay, a little bigger now. Is there a way to make it like opaque? There you go. Theme, clean, boxed. Let's try boxed. Okay, cool. I dig boxed. If I leave everything else standard, high delay 15 seconds. Cool, rock and roll. Hey, you know what? Every chat, I'm going to try to add a little something different. Just get a little bit of more professionality out here. It's the best we could do, you know? All right. So I wanted to go and... Yeah, I don't know how they're going to have a sequel to this, because... Like, unless they go back to the Carpenter Sisters or they come up with a new version of the Carpenter Sisters, I mean, you really feel like this tree is getting barren with... oh, sweet. What's up, Matt? Welcome. Producer Matt, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I don't know. He had a good idea. Producer Matt was saying, why didn't they just leave a cliffhanger Which, at first I didn't really know what to make of that, but the more I think of it, it's not that bad of an idea compared to what they have, because like I said, this tree is getting like they've out of Sydney, we've gone through her brother, who we didn't even know she had, her boyfriend, I guess, and then through her boyfriend's mom, uh, her niece, who was jealous of her, and then you have these people in this one who, like, it was a super fan who wanted to kill her because she was a super fan. And so at this point, I don't know how many other people has Sidney Prescott just like will Sidney Prescott have like randomly? Let me fix the camera. I didn't realize it was off like that. How many people will Sidney Prescott randomly like annoy or walk past and they decide, well, now she's on my shit list and I have to put on a ghost face costume and fuck with her? I don't know. I almost wonder if I hate the dreaded idea of a reboot, but it seems like they need to do something because the kills in this movie were badass. The hunting scenes and stuff were pristine, but none of that really relied on the tension of it being Sydney necessarily. So, and like I said before, I think Six did such a good job of having a story um, without Sydney being the focal point, which is which is huge when you can actually move a franchise to that point where you don't need the lead that you thought you'd never be past. So I don't know. I'm I'm kind of worried. So let me go back in my notes here. I had some notes I wanted to go over with everyone. Please watch my video earlier where I review the things I was talking about. But I do want to talk about this whole. What is this? What recent horror will be scared? What recent horror movies were referenced in Scream 7, if any? I don't think any were referenced. I'm trying to think if. I mean, Mindy referenced that it's going to be. Welcome to the chat, Kenny. People overhated Scream 6. Absolutely. I think Scream 6 is great. I'm a huge fan. I didn't love the ending, but I think Scream 6 was a great entrance to the franchise and one of the better. Like, again, it had a lot of great kills. It had a lot of great scares in it. If you're going into this movie looking for, or if you're going into a horror movie looking for a super tight plot and really well thought out characters and stuff, you're probably not going to have a good time. Let's see what Matt said. You almost have to reboot with a sequel in the same universe without legacy characters. So it is happening with Sydney, and I'm not against that. I don't think having Sydney in the movies is necessarily a bad thing. It's just, what's up, Kenny? How you doing, sir? Or ma'am? I don't judge. But it's like Sydney is the focal point of the series, and her daughter was pretty awesome. I love their relationship, but now it's like, what's the next step in that relationship? Is Mark going to be there again? Is it just going to be Sydney? Who else from her past can come to fuck with her? It seems like she's too much of a. It seems she's such a celebrity at this point that like her being in any town as herself is just going to attract attention. It's going to attract crazy people. Like her neighbor was like super into the murders and just. You see where he's coming from to a point, but I'm just writing down celebrity status so I remember that. It would be like if you were a big hockey fan and like Wayne Gretzky or something moved in next door, or Michael Jordan. If you're a basketball fan, Michael Jordan. It's like Sidney Prescott's the living embodiment of Laurie Strode in this universe. I know in our universe she's fake, but in the Scream universe, she's like the Laurie Strode that actually survived. She's the heroine that's, oh my god, you can get her autograph. Like someone tried to kill her, and with the amount of crazy people in the world, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that people would be like, oh, yeah, someone would want to try to get notoriety off of killing her. So that's fucked up. So, yeah, and I think that the big theme of the movie with the trauma and passing the trauma onto your kid, and Sydney wants to protect the kid, and then it's interesting. One of the Ghost Face, the hidden Ghost Face, Jess, she had one of the best points in the movie. It's like, you can't protect your kid always, because then if you're not there to protect them, how are they going to protect themselves? Very prophetic that she was giving Sydney those instructions. She was almost encouraging Sydney to let Tatum go out on her own and get put into danger. But it was kind of good advice when it comes down to it. So, because that's the thing with anything, when you have a child or whatever, or even if you have like a dog or something, you have to eventually let some kind of trust if they're gonna be able to stand up on their own. So I don't know. That is weird. But the kid gave off some major creepy vibes, and especially when he was calling her Prescott, he kept saying, "Oh, sorry, Miss Prescott," and she's like, "No, my name is Evans now." Um, I don't know. That was some pretty creepy shit. I enjoyed the red herrings, but I don't think that the killers got enough that there was a good payoff. Like having a good explanation at the end, or not even a good explanation, but having a long explanation at the end, that only goes so far. Um, Having a killer with a motivation earlier in the movie, or like you see someone in the background that might, like they had Marco there for a minute, maybe a minute and a half, and True, he seemed like he was just a nice run of the mill. He was almost so nice you forget he was in the movie for a second, because he served such a little purpose. And the mom, you remember her, Jess, the Lucas's mom, the neighbor. I remember her from two scenes: the coffee shop, and then after the homeless guy, or not the homeless guy, the escaped mental patient, Carl, after he attacks them and gets killed, she comes over to like check, like, hey, is everything all right? And it's almost like, now that I think about it like that, it's almost like she's happy to make her son look like a suspect. Like when Gail's asking, it's almost she's probably like, hey, Lucas, I'm going next door to talk to Sydney. Do you want to come say hi to her? Instead of saying like, no, it's crazy outside. You should probably not. She brought her own son there to be. It's pretty well. Own son as not excuse, but what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, her own son was like her alibi, I guess. Because no one's looking at you if you have the crazy son who is coming across like the murderer from the first movies, right? It's pretty wild. I wanted to look up who that guy was from the first scene. Not Chad or whatever the hell his name was. Scott. Scream 7 Wiki. I feel like I've seen him in other shit, and I don't know what. He almost looks like Eddie Munson from Stranger Things, with like obviously cut hair and a beard, but that's not Joseph Quinn. So here, Jimmy Tatro. He's an American YouTuber. He is the creator and star of the YouTube Life According to Jimmy, which has more than 3.34 million subs. Okay, so he's appeared in Grown Ups 2, 22 Jump Street. Okay, that's where I probably see him, 22 Jump Street. He was in Boo, a Medea Halloween. Ugh. Back in the day, we had respectable Halloween movies like Ernest Scared Stupid. Medea takes Halloween. Get the fuck out of here with that. I don't even know what to. What is she taking Halloween for? Okay, sorry. Matt Page. He was my top suspect, and I didn't believe he really got stabbed in the bar because we didn't see it. Oh yeah, when what's it called? When Sophie got killed, and then like curb stomped or whatever by Ghostface at the bar, and Lucas is still rolling around. At that point, I half expected Lucas to like stand up and be like, "Okay, good job," but at that point, it's pretty cool that people were saying, "Oh, it's got to be someone from the friend group." It's become such a trope at this point in these movies that it has to be someone from the friend group. That it's nice that it actually wasn't someone from the friend group. Um, so apparently, this YouTube star, he's been in a lot of shit. Good God. He was Rooster in 22 Jump Street. That's where I remember him from. Because at first I was like, there's not that many memorable characters in 22 Jump Street outside of the leads and like Ice Cube and stuff. But Rooster and then freaking, U.S. agent, new second Captain America, John Walker. He's in that too. That's crazy. 22 Jump Street. Talk about launching careers for many people. All right, let's see. Still waiting for 23 Jump Street. They said it was confirmed in 2014. And then in 2024, Channing Tatum said 23 Jump Street has the best script he's ever read for a third movie, and he would love to do it. Well, we'll never see that shit happen. And that's okay. But, alright. Back to, okay, so Scream 8. Scream 8. Scream 8 is in early development, with Kevin Williamson returning. Nev Campbell actively brainstorming ideas with him for the next installment. It's not officially greenlit, supposedly. But multiple sources confirm that plans are already in place for a potential sequel. I assume that means only if Scream 7 does not completely bomb. So, or not completely bomb at all. So, again, they'll have Courtney and, Sidney and Gale will be back again. The BFFs. Perfect time to kill off Gale now because she literally has no purpose left in these movies. Just saying. And Courtney Cox's face is starting to, if you see it in the wrong lighting, I think you might scare children. It's unfortunate. I know that when you're an actress and you're in Hollywood and stuff, you have to try to keep up with things and keep up with trends. But you look at the way Nev Campbell has aged, and whether she's had work done or not, it's not overt. She's not like, doesn't look like she's wearing a mask of herself. Whereas Courtney Cox's face is starting to look a little out there. So, not trying to be rude, just stating the facts. And there's no idea about the plot for it. Okay, so let's see how Scream 7 is doing at the box office. Scream 7 shattered franchise records with 8 million in domestic previews. Scream 6's was 5.7, so over 2 million more. The film is projected to open with 40 to 50 million domestically. Scream 7 heading to $7.5 million franchise record box office. Oh, for opening. Like I said in an earlier video, if they hit... She looks like a wax museum replica of herself. And the sad thing is, Courtney Cox was like... I know Jennifer Aniston's beautiful. I think there was a good period of time on Friends in the 90s growing up that I was definitely a bigger fan of Courtney. I mean, Lisa Kudrow was my favorite. But I definitely preferred Courtney Cox at periods. When she was in Ace Ventura, oh my God, perfection. But the hairstyles they did to her in Scream, oof. And then the last couple movies, she's starting to look like a facsimile of herself. Something's not right. Okay, actually, I'm curious about Rotten Tomatoes because they said this was the lowest rated in the series. All right, here we go. 32% from the review community, meaning like the official reviewers, like the paid ones. But then 77% of fans like it. And no offense, again, it's a fucking horror movie. You're not going here to see Ben-Hur. So if the fans are happy, that's what matters. I'm not, and also I gotta be honest. Of all of the movies, this one was really well done. Like, if you're gonna shit on a movie for not being, or for being a horror movie, but it's not really that well, like, this is a pretty damn polished movie. The lighting was great. I thought the sound design was great. Like, a lot of the scares were awesome. it's something that you go to the theater with your girlfriend or your friends and you have fun with. Like, you're not looking for this to change your life. You're not going here to see this and it's interstellar and it's like, oh my god. No, it's a movie, man. Compare. I've heard people are bombing the rating over the Melissa. But I can see that happening. I can see it like people on both sides because I heard people saying like boycott boycott Scream 7 because Melissa Barrera or because of what Melissa Barrera said, even though she's not in the fucking movie. What are we? Why shouldn't you like encourage them to see the movie that she's not in so that it'll make it look like she didn't? I don't know. It's just it would make sense to me that they would review bomb it because of things like that. So here, let me see how it is compared to the rest of the series. Here, Scream movies. Here, can I just see all the Screams on Rotten Tomatoes? I'm not a big Rotten Tomatoes guy, because it's like I just kind of I go with my gut and stuff. I don't really need. Okay, so Scream 6, 77% and 90%. So compared to 32 and 77, we have 77 and 90. 76 and 82 for Scream 2025. So here's the thing, Scream 3, 38% of the fans like this movie. That's the worst in the franchise. That's a joke. You know, even Scream 4 or Scream Original has 80% of the fans. Scream 5 is or the Scream has a 80% of the fans. Scream 4 is pretty divided. The critics loved Scream 4 for some reason compared to the rest. But the fans did. I don't know, man. Scream 2, I think that's the one the critics like the most in the series apparently. So like how do you even judge these things based on Rotten Tomatoes? It's I saw the post on Reddit about it and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of silly." And sure enough, looking at it in my own details, it definitely is silly. What's up, Alex Andrade? How you doing, sir? Pleased to meet you. Or Alexa Andrade? I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what people's names are. I'm just happy you're here, and I'm thankful you joined the chat. Does anyone have any? Did everyone here see Scream? Did you have any questions or things you want to talk about? Otherwise, I am starting to just go through the reviews and stuff and just see crap like that. You know. Mildly curious, actually. When's it coming on DVD? Or streaming? Because that's when I'll finally be able to watch it a bunch. Doesn't say. Oh, wait. Digital, March 31st. Only a month. Damn. Oh, I'm sorry, Danielle. Yeah, I don't want to spoil the movie for you. It's an awesome movie. Have time. Have a good time with it. Yeah, the ending was silly because I don't understand what what her big point was. It's like, so you're Sydney's fan and Sydney needs to die so that you can be the new Sydney, or what? Like, if in 6 I'm gonna give them crap over the cop having magical powers to join a new precinct even though his son was a murderer and they don't ask questions about that, then I gotta ask questions about this shit too, where like this woman killed her husband, got away with it. That I'll buy. Fine. But then she checks herself into a mental hospital. The kid doesn't go to social services or doesn't go to a ward of the state or doesn't go to a family member. The kid, I guess, just hangs around waiting for her to be done playing around with Ethan Embry at the mental hospital. And then she comes out and she's like, okay, well, now since Sydney wasn't in the New York Ghostface attack, she's past her prime. So I need to kill her. But it's not like you're saying, oh, Tatum's going to be the new Sydney. It's like I'm going to kill them both, right? And then who's the new Sydney? I guess her. I don't. She didn't have a plan. It wasn't like Jill, who had a plan at the end, or someone who was like, here's how we're going to escape. Here's how I'm going to become famous. Mickey was like, as stupid as Mickey's plan was, he had an end game. Like, he wanted to be caught and he wanted to be interviewed and, become an anti-hero for all the fringe psychopaths out there. Stu and what's his name? Excuse me. Stu and Billy had an end game. Roman, I don't think had an end game because his was like, I'm gonna fake my death to the people that are there, then kill all the people there, and then be the only survivor. But you don't think that's gonna lead to questions, bro? Like this is Hollywood, and this is 2000. This isn't Hollywood in like 1970 where you can get away with shit. Like they have pictures of everybody. They know who everybody is. There's not TMZ, but there's Planet Hollywood, or not Planet Hollywood. Access Hollywood's TV show it used to be on. It's like he wouldn't just be able to disappear. I mean, maybe like I don't know. It's just it did. He didn't seem like he had a plan. Jill had the best plan in the series. She just fucked it up because she was arrogant. Richie's plan, I don't know if. I mean, Richie wanted to have the movies get rebooted with Sam as the killer, and I guess he was the protagonist so that he would be the savior, and then he would also be able to get involved with the production of the movies because they showed his home movies in 6, so he clearly had a boner for making movies and making films and stuff and trying to insert himself into this shit. So Richie had a plan. Amber, I do not think had a plan. Amber was probably just happy to do something. Like she just seemed to be a cold-blooded psychopath, but I don't think she had a plan. And there's a lot of people that say that Richie was probably going to kill Amber when she wasn't paying attention after everyone else was dead, because then it leaves him as the sole survivor. Which I'm not saying I agree one way or the other, but if you're going to try to go the route of I want to survive this and get through all the police questioning and do all that crap, you probably got to get rid of your accomplice because she was. You don't know if they're going to end up cracking. You know if you're going to crack or not, but you don't know if they're going to crack. You don't know if they're going to turn you in. You don't know what the story is. Um, so yeah, and clearly he was dating like multiple women at the time, even though he was with her. He was he's banging the other chick. It's like I think he can. He was probably cold blooded enough to get rid of her. So okay, so that's 5. 6. I don't know what the plan would be because he faked his daughter's death to the police station that he worked at. How's that daughter gonna pop up again? Like, is he now getting involved in identities and stuff? Like, I don't. Whoa, what happened? Oh, because yeah, my stream over there is way off. But like, is he getting involved with like creating a new identity for her? Kind of like in Stranger Things where they gave Eleven a fake ID. And then the son, it's like it's his son. How is he? He's paying. So 6 again. It's like half the franchise has had dipshit, horrible plot endings for why the killer did what they did. So this one just adds to the pile. Marco, I would have understood if she was playing him like how Jill was playing Charlie as like if you help me with this, I'll love you. But he just seemed to be a psychopath who enjoyed it for no reason and had, again, no real plan. And also, how do you go from working at Google to working at the insane asylum as a orderly? Not like as a scientist, but as an orderly. So, oh, sorry, I missed Matt's message. We're 7 deep on endings, and it feels like they have just lost the electricity they used to bring, which is why they have a cliffhanger. Yeah, I guess you have to try something new like that. I do. The more I think about it, the more I think you're right. Because at the end, the movies have gotten very formulaic at this point, where at the end we're waiting for who's the reveal, who's it going to be from earlier. And this time they did at least change it a little bit where it wasn't one of the friend group and stuff. Kind of like last time they changed it. It wasn't one of the friend group, it was 2 of the friend group. And one of them was dead. Like they have to keep coming up with these tricks, but it's the lesson. What is it? Lessening returns or diminishing returns? It's kind of like it's the old wrestling thing, which is why wrestling has ups and downs, but in general it's been down lately. It's because once you do a cage match, you can't come back with a cage match the next week because people just saw it. So you either have to make a cage match a super special occasion, or, which is what you should do to keep people coming back, or what people get, they get greedy and they get antsy and they want to have immediate success. They say, okay, well, this week was a cage match. Next week will be a cage match on fire. and then the next week will be a cage match on fire with electricity, and then the next, and before you know it, you have people out there in a wrestling ring with shotguns and flaming arrows and stuff, and it's like you've done everything, and you've shot your load so many times now. So it's the same thing with these movies where it's like you've really, you're getting to the point where we expect everything, and even if we don't expect something, we expect it because we didn't expect it. Like, fans are either looking for what they've seen before or looking for the exact opposite. And since the movies are so mapped out, um, it's really not that hard to, it's really, there's really not that much suspense anymore in it. So I don't know. It might be time to let's. I know there's 8 coming out, but there's no problem with Scream as a franchise dying or taking 10 years off, or rebooting down the line. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I don't know if there is a proper answer. It's just the movie was badass, but I don't know how many more movies they can do where it's. I mean, if they just want to do movies focused on a guy in a ghost mask face stalking and killing people and make the kills creative, you can do that. You don't need it to involve Sydney and all of them, because the parts of this movie that I enjoyed. I mean, yes, I enjoyed the familial drama and stuff too because it was well thought out and well acted. But it's like you want to see the killer, you want to see the hunting and where's he gonna be, the mystery of it. Um, at this point, how much can happen to one person in her life? Sydney, before she just moves to a secluded island in Australia with her family and says, "We're not dealing with this shit anymore. We're not gonna live in a town with people that all know that I'm a target of murder." So I don't know. That's those are my thoughts on the movie. I popped out my review earlier, and yeah, I think that's all I got right now. I just wanted to do a quick little review stream. Thank you all for being here for this. I'm gonna try to do streams more often. It's fun. I'm actually October 2028. That would be nice. At least it gives them a little time to work on it. I didn't like how Scream 1 and 2 and then 5 and 6 were filmed so close together that, I mean, the quality was great on both of them, but you need some time in between these movies for them to matter. Like Scream 5 and 6 came out so close together, they almost get associated with each other. And then again, after COVID, it was like people were excited to go back in the theaters. Maybe Scream 5 would have come out earlier. I don't know. But it will be nice to see one of these come out in October because I believe they've come out. Scream 1 and 2 came out in December. I think 3 came out in like March or April. That it was the outlier because Scream 3 was the one with the lowest box office, or 4. Sorry, I'm being stupid. It's 3 or 4. One of those two came out at a weird time, like summertime, and it did poorly. And then 5 and 6 both came out dead winter. Came out, January and February, or January and March or something. So we haven't really had any October releases. That would be cool. And I have faith. I will always watch these movies. I'll go back. I'm coming back to see them. It's just I do have to wonder, when the ending was so convoluted this time, where are they going to go in the future with this ending? So, but it's funny to think about October releases for Halloween movies because it's like, if you have the Halloween franchise itself, when would you want to release those movies? Usually October, right? Well, for like 20 years, they released them in August. Who the fuck? What? Getting amped up in August. That's not even like late September. It's August. People are starting to watch football and stuff. They don't want to be scared by Michael Myers yet. It wasn't right. So, then again, Scream is not a movie I necessarily associate with Halloween anyway. Certain franchises I do. Obviously Halloween. And Nightmare on Elm Street more so. Friday the 13th I watched during the summer. I watch Friday the 13th as soon as it, gets warm out, like, because it reminds me of summer camp and stuff. Uh, I'll watch the Saw movies usually in the spring. I no real reason for that. Maybe I'm just bored and I want to see someone get cut up. But yeah, to pile them all the horror movies into the Halloween month is tough. I think it's smart to spread them out, especially if you're a true horror fan. You want to have different parts of the year you can enjoy things, and then skip some years. Some years I don't watch. I only recently rewatched Friday the 13th. I was watching them regularly for years, And then I took a good 3 or 4 years off, and I just recently rewatched a few of them. Oh man, so beautiful. Same thing with the Scream movies. I hadn't seen. I usually rewatch Scream like once a year at least, but second through sixth. Um, is it impossible to go back to Sam? I don't think so. I don't think it's impossible. Uh, but it's the same thing that happens with Sydney, in my opinion. Where do you need to create a new Sam, or do you need to have a character that we've seen before, or can you just create a new one? Like, who's the next up and coming actress that won't cost them a lot of money, but will put her all into it? Kind of like, Sam and Tara did too. Jenna Ortega. She wasn't nearly as big of a character as she was in Scream 5 and 6, but like you see her acting, it's like, holy shit, she made those movies. So just find the next one, because if Jenna Ortega is going to be way too expensive for a long time, and Melissa Barrera, they probably, regardless if they like her or not, I don't know if they want to touch that because of the issues. And that's not for me. Or I don't know what's right or wrong. Will she come back at all? If they want her back, why not? These people, they'll have all the time they want. Because these franchises always seem to have multiple entries and needs for legacy characters. So you might see it 5 or 10 years down the line when tempers have calmed down and stuff. For her credit, she's been very, I saw some interviews recently. I didn't go out of my way, but I think I was on YouTube, and I went from a Skeet Ulrich interview, and then it was next to his Melissa Barrera talking about why she wasn't brought back, and she wasn't inflammatory. She was just respectful and was like, I had my 2 movies, and she was only apparently signed for the 2. So it's not like they necessarily fired her. They just didn't bring her back. But she was only signed for the 2 movies. She had her. If they're going to come back, she's going to. That would be interesting, but I don't know. I mean, they did show Sam having a lot of interest or potential as a killer. Like, she seemed flat out interested the in the murder aspect of it, like she with Billy's knife, and she almost felt like power from it. So it wouldn't be the worst. I almost was wondering if she was going to come back this movie, but you also have Jill, who you can make an argument, kind of like Stu, for all those years where they said, "Oh, is Stu still alive?" Producer Matt was pointing out that Jill could still be alive, and just same thing. Maybe her memory got fried. I mean, now you can't use that storyline though because you just used it as a fake out. But there's things you can do here. There's the people who were shot in the head. Obviously, you can't bring back. Jessica, the mom. No one has ever been shot that much in a movie in a long time, so I do not see her coming back. I can say that definitively in the entire series of anyone coming back. Definitely not her. I was glad there was no ghost Billy Loomis this time, but now I have to start deciding, what do I like worse, or what do I hate more, Ghost Billy Loomis or AI Stu Macher, and I don't know the answer to that yet. Just watched the movie and I knew the killers just by looking at them. I mean, they really made Marco the attendant. They really did make him seem exceedingly creepy, and just visually, he stands out on the poster. And why would you have, again, such a name actor? He's not Tom Cruise. I get that, but to people that are Scream fans that or nostalgia and all that stuff. Ethan Embry was a big actor in the 90s and 2000s. He was in a lot of movies, and a lot of Scream or horror adjacent movies. I can't think if he was in a horror movie itself, but I know he was in like Vegas Vacation. He was in Can't Hardly Wait. He's a very known actor. So having him in a role that was so tiny, it stood out. It was like something's not, they usually don't do that in these type of movies. For Scream 8, they will use AI again and bring Jill back from Scream 4 for AI, and I don't know who will be Ghostface. I don't know if they would use AI again, because the Scream movies have always been very good about having a gimmick and then that's it. They didn't reuse the voice changer. I guess today was Scream 7 was the closest to the voice changer from Scream 3 that we've had, but even the voice changer, I guess, was more realistic. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Scream 8, Lindener. I mean, I love it, but yeah, even the Halloween franchise took all these different paths. They didn't just have Laurie Strode get hunted for 6 out of the 7 movies, or Laurie's friends get hunted for 6. It was like, they kept trying to do things a little different. But again, that's why people have always complained about those movies. Sometimes you just need to let them rest and take some time, refresh, come up with a new idea, come up with a fresh take on it. AI, a lot of us hate AI, but AI was not the way to do it. Ethan Embry auditioned to be Cotton in Scream 1. Is that true? That's awesome. I can see that being the case. Yeah, because I'm trying to think. In '96, he would have been like, he was in Empire Records, which was '95. And that was when he was in his awkward phase, because I remember him as like a kid actor. He was in something. Yeah, I'm just going to look him up. I got a computer. I always remember him from Vegas Vacation and Can't Hardly Wait. I mean, some of my favorite movies growing up. But, okay, cool. He was in Dutch back in 1991. That's where I remember him with Ed O'Neill, Al Bundy. He's like a rich, snobby kid, and Ed Bundy is, or not Ed Bundy, and Al Bundy is his like foster dad or something like that. It doesn't matter. By '95, he was in Empire Records, which I definitely know him in, because that's when he was. So he was born in '78, so he was 17 in Empire Records, 16 or 17 years old, and that's when he just really started to become a man. The next year he was in That Thing You Do, which I never saw, but it was a big deal. And then '97 he was Vegas Vacation. '98 he was in Can't Hardly Wait. And then he started being in some more, I guess, independent type movies. I'm not familiar with a lot of them. Harold and Kumar, love that movie. He was in Sweet Home Alabama, not familiar. But yeah, he's a regular actor. So I did not know that he was. I did not know that he auditioned for Cotton. I can't see that role going to anyone besides Liev Schreiber, especially because he grew into being such a hulking, like menacing looking human. He was bad enough in the few scenes in Scream '96, and then by the next year he had already aged and looked different, and it was like he looked a lot more menacing. So it's a missed opportunity that those rumors that they were going to flash back to Maureen's death would have grabbed attention, and who knows where to go from there. Yeah, I avoided the rumor mill like crazy the last few weeks. I heard there were some interesting theories going around on Reddit and stuff, but I'm gonna have to go back now and see what people were saying. I did not read them myself. He auditioned to be Cotton, but they told him he was too young. He probably would have been, because at that point he was not even Nick Papagiorgio from Vegas Vacation yet. That was a year after, and he was a skinny person. At least Liev Schreiber is like a meaty type dude. Especially the rest of the cast for Scream. I don't think any of them were teenagers at the time. They were all in their 20s, and Ethan Embry would have been like 16. It would have been like 17 or 18. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious their ages now, because obviously, excuse me, Casey Becker, Drew Barrymore, she was 20 when it came out. Okay, or when it was filmed. So, because I'm going off I'm assuming they filmed '95, early '96. So I'm just kind of going off of that. Liev Schreiber, he was almost 30. He was 28 when they were filming this. Damn. Kenny W. Earl Brown was only a couple years older than Cotton. Even though Cotton's supposed to be a high school kid. Actually, was Cotton a high school kid, or was he supposed to be like a college kid? They really didn't specify if he was just a town guy. Skeet Ulrich, he was 25. Okay, fair enough. Rose McGowan, 22. Matthew Lillard, 25. Courtney Cox, 31. But again, she wasn't a high school kid, so that's fair. Nev Campbell, 22. David Arquette, 24. Yeah, top viewers stream Bo. I don't Yeah, we're gonna just delete that message. I don't. How do I just delete this shit? Oh, I'm not. Whoopsies! I'm not logged in as myself on Twitch. Twitch sucks. I'm a YouTube guy. No offense, Twitch, if anyone's here actually watching this thing from there, but. Alright, let's get this shit out of here. Wait, why can I pin the message? I don't want to pin it. I want to get rid of it. Alright, whatever. I don't even know how to. Doesn't matter. That just ground things to a halt because I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm doing. So, but yeah, those are the. So it's interesting to see that stuff. Will Melissa Barrera come back? I doubt it. But never say never. It's Hollywood. It's the movies. It's like I've been saying all along with Stranger Things. People are like, oh man, Stranger Things says it's never coming back. They're never continuing anything with these characters. Give it a couple years. Wait until someone else is in charge. Wait until Netflix says, hey, we need to fill in a gap and we have a ton of money and we'll throw it at someone to make something. Wait until someone wants to do something. So yeah, if people will get over it, I think that would require, the world in general, just everyone kind of being nicer to each other. Right now, everything's just so volatile. Whether you agree with the lady's opinion or not, then that's that. Let's hope we can all learn from things like this and move on. So, otherwise, I appreciate everyone stopping out today. It was a nice little stream. I might try to hop on later tonight and do some gaming. I got Dead by Daylight fired up on my PC, and I want to see, at least do a test stream. If not, do a stream opening some cards. I still have some. Let's see what I got here. Still got some Batman Metal Universe and X-Men Marvel Masterpieces 92 Platinums to go through. In addition to Topps Series 1 Baseball. I'm really hoping for a cool artifact. I got a sweet Mickey Mantle card in there. Who expected that shit? So, anyway, thank you all for being here. Please check out my other videos. I posted a semi-in-depth Scream 7 review earlier on the channel, and I will be posting more content as we go. Next week, I'm going to switch it up. Taking a break. Scream week was awesome, but it took a lot out of me. It was a lot to do all these Scream videos in a row. It'll be nice to switch things up. I'm going to head back to Stranger Things and do Season 3, my best characters and worst characters. And I also had my funniest moments from Stranger Things are coming up. Why we love horror movies, that's coming up. Got some great things in the works. So please join up on the channel. And either way, have a great day.